Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma musta'an. Like what the state of the Muslims in the West has come to where like right now, ever since like you started to see the appearance of Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate on the scene with their advice to the youth in regards to women, and unfortunately we have a large population from amongst the Muslims that have taken, the speech of Andrew Tate, the speech of Kevin Samuels, and they've started to take this speech from these individuals. Now, as far as Andrew Tate and him becoming Muslim, tayyib, but let's look at his background and what his background was. He's a pimp. He's an international pimp, and and it's something that he bragged about and he admitted. We don't take our marriage advice from a pimp. And Kevin Samuels is a kafir. I mean, even in the back in the days when Andrew Tate first started talking, he's a kafir. So he's a pimp and a kafir. So either way it goes, we're not taking our marriage advice, and we're not going to sit here and treat like our Muslim women based on the advice from these individuals, these fusaq. So Allah musta'an. So now, but the point is that now you have so many Muslims now on social media that now this is what they're calling to. In fact, I had to not block, but like just delete so many people from Facebook just because they quote Kevin Samuels more than they stopped quoting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So everything about, marriage and the rights of the wife and the rights of the husband, we go back to the Quran and we go back to the Sunnah. We don't need Andrew Tate, and we don't need Kevin Samuels, and we don't need any of these individuals. We don't need anybody who's going to listen to them or follow them to come to the Muslims and give advice to the Muslims on how we should deal with our marriages. So that we have that from the Quran and the Sunnah. We have the best example and the best advice. So you go back and look back in the 1990s, the 80s and the 90s, and the Muslims used to fight. They used to fight anybody that disrespected a Muslim woman. Could you imagine that? Like let's go back now, back to the 80s and the 90s, where the Muslims will fight any kafir that ever disrespected a Muslim woman. Now it's the Muslims getting online disrespecting the Muslim women. The Muslim men, because they got all like puffy chested, because now they've lived with large amounts of estrogen so many years, but now they listen to Andrew Tate and all of a sudden, mashallah, he gets a testosterone boost, and now he wants to get online acting like he's the bear now, the wolf of the wolf of the Muslims, and disrespecting Muslim women. And the same thing goes with the people that follow Kevin Samuels. Yeah, man, listen, we're men, and when we talk about rajula, the strongest quality of a man is accountability. So if we want to look at the situation of our Muslim women in the society, then we need to go back and hold the men to account for what's happened to the Muslim women. There's the Muslim women, if they're acting in a way that's improper, maybe it's because we haven't been doing our job. Maybe it's because we haven't been spreading the knowledge and teaching the women and taking care of the women like we're supposed to. Maybe it's our fault, right? But instead of taking accountability, which is the number one sign of manhood, is accountability. No, what they do is they take a different approach of trying to now insult the women and put the blame on the women, like they're the destruction of the Muslim society. No, these du'at ala abwab al-jahannam, they're the destruction of the Muslim society. The people calling you to listen to like Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate, these people are the destruction to the Muslim society. And they want to call the people to not take accountability of themselves. We're responsible. We're the men. We're supposed to be taking responsibility of our families and our households and everything else. So if we're not taking that responsibility, now we're going to get online and start insulting the women? And we call this rajula? Nah. Wallahi, haulai min akbar mutakhannithin haulai. Wallahi, akbar nas tashabbahum bin nisa haulai. Wa na'udhu billahi min sharrihim. Wallahi, anybody that gets online and sits there and makes their whole da'wah about insulting women, the Muslim women, la barakallahu fihim. La barakallahu fihim. Wala jazakumullahu khairan. Abadan. لا بارك الله في دعوتهم ولا بارك الله في سعيهم في أي شيء. Yeah, you make your da'wah about insulting Muslim women and talking down on Muslim women. It's our fault. Anything that we have, our children, our fault. We're going to blame that on the women too. You're the man. You take accountability. Allahumma musta'an. Allahumma musta'an. That's all I got to say about this. Allahumma musta'an.